Hey, what's up everybody? So I kind of feel like a farmer right now. I am experimenting with growing some vegetables for our garden for this summer. This is actually some tomatoes that we're growing indoors, and then these are green peppers. Don't worry, not drugs. We'll talk about that in a couple weeks because this medical marijuana thing is getting out of hand. But anyways, side note, this is really a video for pastors and leaders and really anybody who wants to grow in their relationship with God, but really to encourage pastors and to help them as they lead God's church. And I've been learning so much about sowing seeds and discipling people, and so over the next several weeks we're going to learn a lot about that. But something I read about tonight that I feel like God really led me to was Matthew chapter 13, and I'm going to just kind of flip the screen here if I can. Well, it doesn't look like I can, but I'm going to read you a little bit of the story, this parable that Jesus gave. It says, "That same day Jesus went out on the house and sat by the lake. Such large crowds gathered around him that he got into a boat and he sat in it, while all the people stood on the shore. Then he told them many things in parables, saying, A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came and ate it up. Some fell on rocky places where it did not have much soil, and it sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came up, the plants were scorched, and they withered because they had no root. Other seed fell among the thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still other seed fell on the good soil, where it produced a crop, 100, 60, or 30 times what was sown. Whoever has ears, let them hear." And in this, when I read this, I thought, man, this is exactly what I'm doing with these plants that I'm trying to grow so we can plant in our garden. I put them out during the day so they get plenty of sunlight, but I can't leave them out there because if I leave them out there, they will freeze and it'll just be detrimental to the plants. And so I can't do that. And I've got to constantly take care of these things. And so I'm tending to their needs, watering them, I'm making sure they're not freezing, I'm not leaving them outside, and all of those kinds of things. And so it's the same way when we disciple people, when we invest into a life, when we sow a seed to share Christ with them and show them how to live like Jesus. They need our attention. We need to be with them, and sometimes more often than we really think. And otherwise, the seed's just going to fall on rocky soil and it's not going to produce anything. We need to spend time with them, and they need to learn what it looks like to live like Christ. And so I was thinking about this in terms of, pastors always thinking about church attendance and what's happening there. And, well, why isn't there more people coming to church and to what God is doing? And I think that it all comes back to discipleship, and it comes back to us worrying a lot. When I was pastoring, I was always, man, we had, if we could get everybody who calls this church their home, if we could just get them all here, then we'd have like 200 people. But we could never get them there, and it's just never happened. But what I can do as a pastor is I can take 5 to 10, and I can say, I'm going to invest into these 5 and 10, and I'm going to disciple them, and I'm going to show them the way. And then therefore, they're going to, once they're discipled and that seed has established itself on fertile soil and it's solid and it's rooted, then they can go off on their own and now go do the same thing that I just showed them how to do. So that's my prayer for you, pastors and leaders, that don't get caught up in the numbers. Sometimes it gets frustrating, and it's like, man, I just want everybody here, and that's a great heart and everything. But overall, what we can do is we can love people and be there for them through the process of tending to those seeds and planting those seeds. And sometimes there's seeds that we plant that we'll never see the fruit of it, and it'll be later in life after we're gone from that seed we planted. And so you just never know what God's going to do.